Okay, welcome back. We'll continue from where we left. So we were discussing the methods. We just have started the methods. We discussed that researchers use their own eyes, ears, and intelligence is the most important thing in a qualitative research is the researcher, the person who is doing the research. So the first method that we are going to discuss is the direct observation. Direct observation means a researcher studies people as they go about their daily lives. What do we mean by the word observation? What is observation? Observation is that you don't interfere in what is happening. You don't you don't interrupt anyone's work. You don't interrupt or interfere in whatever is happening, but you just observe. A qualitative research, the quality of the research is at large based on the observations of the researcher. Every person is not that keen. Every person doesn't look at the things the same way. So definitely, this is the key of success for a qualitative research, that he must know what to observe, what to look for, what to keenly look for, and what to ignore, maybe in some situations, because everything is not to be noted. That this was happening, that was happening, this way, that way. Obviously, you write, sometimes you write everything, but you keep things here as well, because everything cannot be written. Things are sometimes noted and observed first, and then they are documented. So basically, observation comes first. With direct observation, a researcher studies people as they go about their daily lives without participating or interfering. This type of research is often unknown to those under study, and as such must be conducted um, in public settings where people do not have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Means obviously we all go through some situations where we have a privacy. You cannot observe people's privacy. So basically, direct observation is a method that is applied in those situations where people are working, for example, office scenario, some office situation, some market situation, some people sitting and discussing something. They actually, these all situations are so that people are doing their work, and they are not in a private situation. So definitely, what is important is that actually you observe whatever is happening. You don't change things. So, for example, a researcher might observe the ways in which strangers interact in public as they gather to watch a street performer. This is just an example that, for example, you are in a situation, and you're in a situation that you are at a public place and some people are performing. And how do people are behaving towards that? What are they doing? How do they behave? How do they act? How do they applause? Do they criticize? So basically, if your research is that what is people's reaction towards the street performers? Are they being respected, or just they are just being appreciated? So this is a kind of research that you can definitely need a natural scenario. In If you ask someone to perform and ask people to behave, obviously this would not be a scenario that is controlled, and you'll not be able to collect the right information. The next is open-ended surveys. Many surveys are designed with open-ended questions. As we all know, surveys comes, and in those questions are bound for answers A, B, C, D. Right now, A, B, C, D is a survey. means a questionnaire that you design, that if you have given a choice, what will you eat? Fast food, home food, continental, or whatever. A type of questionnaire, for example. That is a survey. But when you are given an open-ended survey, then you will be asked why you select the kind of food that you have selected. So that is an open-ended survey, means your answer, obviously, if asked from 200 people, people can select A or B or C or D. But if asked from 10 people and you go into the in-depth of the information that they have given, that means you are actually doing a qualitative research and you have given them an open-ended questionnaire. Your survey was open-ended, where you wanted people to give their opinions. You want to gather the information based on their opinions, their choices. So basically, this is an open-end survey. While many surveys are designed to generate quantitative data, as we all know, ABCD वाली एक option होती है. Many are also designed with open-ended questions that allow for the generation and analysis of qualitative data. For example, a survey might be used to investigate not just which political candidate um, voters choose, but why they choose them in their own words. So definitely, this is a very clear example. You are given a questionnaire. You say a question is asked: which party is your preference? Two or three parties names are given in the options. Then comes a question: why have you selected the option that you have selected? Then you will be giving an answer that would definitely be at least somewhat different from the opinion of the other person, because maybe we can collect a lot of data believing all the people that they say, yes, we select political party C. But when they are asked to give why they select political party C, they may have different reasons. And you as a researcher want to know their opinion. You want to know why they have selected that particular party. Number three is number third a type of method of qualitative research that is used is focus group. Focus group is a conversation designed to generate data relevant to the research question. Now, what happens in a focus group? A researcher engages a small group of participants in a conversation designed to generate data relevant to the research question. Focus groups can contain anywhere from 5 to 15 participants. Social scientists often use them in studies that examine an event or trend that occurs within a specific community. They are common in market research too. For example, you want to collect people's opinion and you want to collect very extempore opinions, वो जिसे कहते हैं ना बेसाख्ता लोग क्या कहते हैं. So you want to collect their viewpoints. How can you collect that? Uh, a very good way is to have a focus group. Um, and a good way is not that you give the direct question to them. Whatever your research question is, अगर वही पकड़ा दोगे तो उस पर बात मजे की नहीं होगी. You can select an aspect of that of your research question, any aspect, and given to the group. And one very important thing is that it's not at all important that that focus group know that they are being observed, they are being recorded. Why? Because only that is the way that people can be extempore. Because whenever you ask people to speak, they'll speak collectively, they'll speak confinedly, they'll speak by controlling themselves. But you want to gather information about a topic and you want people to speak whatever is in their mind. So that is the only way to collect information, that you give a question, you give a point of discussion, one word pop up in that group, and they start discussing that. And when they are discussing that, that group can be of 5 to 15 participants. They all are discussing that, and you are, as an observant, you are recording their information. By recording, I don't want to say that you are actually taping recording, means you are observing their behaviors, you are recording in your mind their words. Might be you are writing something that is unusual or you think is relevant to your research. So that is the focus group. Next is in-depth interviews. Interview, as we all know, is the speaking with participants in a one-on-one setting. When you have a one-on-one setting, if you remember, I told you that interviews can be of two or three types. Sometimes it's an interview that is very programmed, means you're given a question, you get an answer. You give a question, you get an answer. Sometimes the researcher who is taking the interview wants an in-depth opinion of that person. Um, Maybe you are doing you're writing your qualitative research is based on a life experiences of a person. So do you think that life experience can be told in one, two, three, four, five, six questions? No. Questions should be less and answer must be a detailed one. So when you ask a question, you listen to that person. He starts maybe from years back. He starts. Then he gives his opinion in this direction, in that direction. He speaks about this, he speaks about that. And then out of all that he's speaking, you will gather all the information about his life experiences, about the specific topic you're actually looking for, the information that you want to gather. This all will come from that long answer. So basically, researchers conduct in-depth interviews by speaking with participants in a one-on-one meeting. This is a particular setting that is one-on-one. Sometimes a researcher approaches the interview with a predetermined list of questions or topics for discussion, but allows the conversation to evolve based on how the participant responds. Other times, the researcher has identified certain topics of interest but does not have a formal guide for the conversation, but allows the participant to guide it. Means, as I told you before, that you might have a set of questions with you when you start that interview. Definitely, you need at least a little path on which you are about to walk. But the respondent, the person who is giving you answers, he might not need a path. He is actually down his memory lane, and he will be telling you all that he knows, all that he wants to tell you. People want to tell. Sometimes the interviewer is in such a hurry to collect information that he says, "Okay, now my next question is." So basically, the interviewee may get irritated that I was about to tell him or her this particular event or some situation, but this person is not much interested in my telling. So basically, an interview and especially a one-on-one setting interview are actually designed for the people to go into the detail of what they want to tell. Oral history, next method that is used is the oral history. Oral history is used to create a historical account of an event. Uh, a historical account of an event, of a group or community, and typically involves a series of in-depth interviews conducted with one or multiple participants over an extended period. Oral history, definitely by the word oral, what we get is something that is being told. Um, when you want to get oral history, that means you need to have maybe more than one participant, and they tell you about different events, about different situations or some history of a community, or an event. So whatever they are telling, that may be an in-depth interview, means a detailed interview. That person will tell you, or the persons will tell you, the information, the knowledge, everything that happened in the past. This is the oral history. Next is the participant observation. This is almost similar to observation, but how it differs. The method is similar to observation. However, with this one, the researcher also participates in the action or events, to not only observe others but to gain the first-hand experience in the setting. You remember we discussed, when we were discussing the importance of research, we discussed one situation in which, for example, an anchor person on TV, he interviews um, um, a person who is a criminal, who has a history, or who has a record of crime. He has spent some years in the jail. You want to ask him what kind of situations are there in the jail, and what kind of behaviors people had with him. Okay, he'll tell you. Maybe you go to the jails and you observe how people are living over there. What is happening in jails? What is the overall situation in jails? The sanitary conditions, the health conditions, the food conditions. These all are things that you observe. But a step ahead is the participant observation. Means you as a researcher takes permission from the jailer, from the superintendent jail, and you ask him that I want to spend a week with the people living in the jail. That is something, and this is not very unusual, because people have been doing this in past. In many scenarios, in many situations, people themselves go through these situations to feel that situation in fact. Obviously, and this can only be, observation is only important in those situations where there are definitely some those social issues are in account, are being discussed, where you want to bring some change, you want to bring some betterment, you want to bring into light some social issues that has to be addressed, so as to bring a change. So for this, you won't rely on just what people tells you, because people tell you their experiences, but as an overall situation, you as a participant observant, you can have the first hand information, and that no one can give you. The next is ethnographic observation. Ethnographic observation is almost like participant observation. This is the most intensive and in-depth observational method. What happens in this is, ethnographic observation is the most intensive and in-depth observational method originating in anthropology. Um, with this method, a researcher fully immerses themselves into the research setting and lives among the participants as one of them for anywhere from months to years. By doing this, the researcher attempts to experience day to day existence from the viewpoints of those studied to develop in depth and long term accounts of the community, events, or trends under observation. You might have seen this sometimes in some movies, that a person who wants to observe people living in small tribes in, say, Africa. So what he must do? Does he must just rely on the information that is given in some documentary or given in a book? No. As one step, he can and excuse me, you cannot ask questions from them. You go there and you ask, how are you feeling living in a tribe? How are you? What is your behavior? Where do you sleep? How do you take bath? How do you? Sorry, these cannot be asked. So what you can do as an ethnographic observant, you will live there. People, researchers have this history that they live there, they go into those tribes, they go into those maybe communities, they live there, they spend years, they see the pattern of behaviors that builds in years. So basically, yeah, this research is not obviously not done in days. This is something that, and obviously, again and again, I'm telling you that qualitative research is done to bring some change in the society. You observe behaviors of people. You look what they do, how they do, what they do. So when you all collect that information, based on your observations, you come to a point. So this is basically an ethnographic observation. The next is content analysis. Content analysis is used by sociologists to analyze social life. This method is used by sociologists to analyze social life by interpreting words and images from documents, from film, art, music, and other cultural products and media. The researchers look at how the words and images are used and the context in which they are used to draw inferences about the underlying culture. Content analysis of digital material, especially that gathered by social media users, has become a popular technique within the social sciences. So basically, sometimes social science believes in collecting information from some documents that may be written in some time about that topic. Maybe some film is made on that, maybe some paintings are made on that, any kind of music is made on that, so composed on that. So basically, when you collect information according to the content that has been produced in any art form, then basically and what you do, you analyze that content, because this is content analysis. You analyze that content and you believe in whatever is written or produced or done in that. For example, a movie, a drama made on someone's life, on some happening, on a very specific happening of someone's life. What happened? Maybe some tragedy, maybe some bad, maybe some good, whatever. So you may remember there was an actress who was killed some years back, and then a play was made on her life, where she started from, what was her background, where did she belong to, what was the kind of family that she had, what kind of passions that she had, what kind of situations that she faced, and on and on until the time she was killed, and she was killed by her brother. So basically, now what is this? This is a content that was uh, this is a life story. You can collect information from the people of that village where she used to live, from the people of that media where she worked, but then based on that, there was a play made on it. And then when the play was made, now you do a research and you say that why girls are, or why females, or why women are killed by their own family members. For example, your research, you are doing a research on this topic, that women are killed by their family members in the name of there can be many reasons. So when for example you're doing a research like that, what you do, you um, when you collect information, you can have different ways of collecting information, but one way is to watch that drama, and then you'll get information, and then what are you doing? You are analyzing that content that is specifically made on that topic. um, Pros and cons. I guess we can finish our lecture or today's lecture on this. We will be continuing with the pros and cons of qualitative research along with the next topic, inshallah, in the next class. Um, so for today, this is all. I hope you all get a better idea and a good idea of what the qualitative research is, and how it is done, and what are the methods, and what is the purpose of all this. So hopefully you all get it, and inshallah, in the next class, we will be discussing this topic in the interactive class as well, and that will help you guys to, if you have any questions, you can definitely ask. Okay, thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.